Fatima, I'm not mad. Okay? I'm not mad. But he violated. Okay? He asked me if I was bisexual. I said no, but he didn't tell me that he was.
Okay, Zatima fans. Now, I wanted to rewatch, not the entire episode, but the scenes that pertain to Bryce in episodes, 9 and mainly 10. I didn't know, not even 9. I just watched episode 10. And, my biggest thing during the episode, my first viewing yesterday morning, was I was on Twitter tweeting while I was watching about, the whole Bryce thing and whatnot, and how I was laughing at the jokes at the beginning of episode 10. And look, I know Zatima is far more comedic than Sistas, and some people are like, Jeremy, look, you're just thinking too much, and because of that you're ruining the show because you and this and that. And like I said before, I know some people might say like, look, you say this all the time, but to be fair, I'm an overthinker. It's what I do. And I think that maybe there is a message in this writing. Some people have said, based on how Fatima reacted to the kiss thing and, at the end of the episode, it felt like she really wasn't valuing Zach's feelings about being violated. This just further showcases the fact that, men, when they have situations of sexual harassment, they're afraid to bring it forward because of ridicule and judgment. And this episode kind of showed that. But that's really only if you look at it that way. Now, after rewatching the last few minutes, not the DNA test part, but, the part where Fatima comes down to the hot tub when, Tony is about to start helping out. And then it's just Fatima and Zach. And, she asked him about the situation. Like, how did you feel? So, yeah, upon a rewatch, I see where Fatima's coming from. Some people are like, well, Jeremy, I don't think it's a matter of Fatima not valuing what Zach felt because, like she said, she was done joking. And then when she's like, so how do you like him? See, Fatima, I ain't playing. Like, I'm tired of that. It's like, no, Zach. It's like, excuse me, do you like him and whatnot? But my thing was, I think you should sit down and talk with him and tell him how you feel. And maybe I misinterpreted, but I'm with Zach on this one. What exactly is there to say? Because of the fact that the only thing Zach can really say is, bro, you completely violated me due to the fact that I told you when you asked me, are you bisexual? No, I am not. Yet you then proceeded to make a move on me, and I wasn't for that. So yeah, he was violated. And yeah, like I said, do I feel bad for laughing at the jokes Fatima was making at the beginning of the episode? No. I know it sounds like I'm contradicting myself, but the reason I bust out laughing when Fatima started making jokes was because of the vibe of that moment. The fact that Fatima straight up said what we as a fan base have been saying for some time now.
Zach,
What?
you always find yourself in some bullshit.
Yeah, I mean, he's always put in some BS, whether it's Sistas or Zatima. Whether he wants to be in it or not. Even when Zach is minding his own damn business, something happens and he's caught in the middle of some mess. But yeah, when I rewatched that scene, it did feel a bit weird for, Fatima to be like, oh, it's no big deal. It's like, yeah, it kind of is. And then for her to be like, well, if it was a woman, you wouldn't react this way. But like he said, it doesn't matter. I mean, look, it's the principle of violation. That's my thing. It's the fact that Zach, it's like, let's say you're at a job and a coworker or a boss or whoever, you're just talking out of the blue, and it's like, they ask you a question like, are you single or married or whatever? It's like, hey, I'm single, but I'm not looking right now. Or, I'm married and obviously I'm not. Let's just say for simplicity's sake, hey, I'm married. Enough said. So then this coworker out of the blue starts to, goes in for a kiss. Wouldn't you feel violated? Male or female? I don't care about the gender of the person, but somebody asks you what's your like, relationship status, and you say married, and I'm devoted to my wife, partner, spouse, whatever terminology you want to use there. But then this other person decides that despite the fact that this person I asked already told me that they're not interested in anything outside of their current marriage, I'm going to make a move anyway. That's violation. And yeah, it kind of stomps on Zach's feelings to have his fiance laughing her ass off. Like I said, yeah, the first couple laughs, yeah, okay. It's like Cat Williams, like, in 2012, I forgot what year he did that, Pimp Chronicles, like, in 2012, you got to get your laughs in before you help somebody up. It's like, if I see somebody fall off a bike, get those laughs in, and then you help them up. Now you help them up. But no, it's like, it feels like, yeah, Zach is being ignored. I mean, imagine like if, Ian went in for a kiss while he was in the coffee shop with Fatima. And how do you think Fatima would have felt if Zach came up there, or, after she got home, she told Zach what happened. Look, I was talking with Ian at the coffee shop and Ian kissed me. Do you think Zach would laugh at that? No, I don't think so. Because just like Bryce, the situation kind of being different in the fact that it's not a question of sexuality, but the principle of Fatima being off the market, but Ian's still going to go in for a kiss anyway. That's not a laughing matter. So, yeah, I mean, in the midst of like Me Too, Time's Up, sexual allegations and whatnot, it is hard for men to come forward with that. Yes, women, have it difficult, especially if it's a man in a position of power that, did something to them. But when men come forward, it's often, met with ridicule and disdain. And then that's why when I first watched the episode, the end of the episode kind of rubbed me the wrong way, because it felt like, well, damn, Fatima, I mean, you're not even going to consider how Zach feels about it. And she did say, yeah, I just want what's best for you, to keep your best interests at heart. And I think deep down that's the truth, but it just felt like there's something missing in here. And like I said in my review, it felt weird to add in the whole Zach wanting Bryce to like say that, well, he's bisexual. But I think for me, it would have been better if the question would have been, wait, so is the reason, because like I said in my review, after Zach said, oh, well, he's bisexual, he should have told me. But now some people might look at it like, well, what? Like if Bryce said he was bisexual, would you have not started a business with him? Would you have not accepted his help with the stocks and the SEC and all this other stuff? Zach, are you homophobic? And then, and then it would have been like, he's the villain. And no, Zach is the damn victim in this situation. So if you would have taken that line out of there about Zach wanting Bryce to let him know up front if he was bisexual, the main person who needs to know about his sexuality is the woman he's dating, Angela. That should be the priority there. I mean, pre-Zach kiss, that is. But I think that the story could have been Zach feeling violated, and then he would be questioning, not himself, but Bryce's intentions. Like, so from the start, was this all just because you were attracted to me? Is that what this entire thing was? And if Bryce says yes, then it's like, yeah, he can question their partnership, because it's like, I don't know, man. I mean, then it could go back to what Fatima was saying, he's good for you in the sense, like, he seems like, a good source for you, with the whole business and whatnot. But then that kind of made me look at Fatima with the side eye. I'm like, so why all of a sudden are you okay with Bryce? Because, I mean, yeah, in episode 9, I was a bit shocked when Zach dropped the bomb about starting a business with Bryce, and Fatima just said, oh, wow, okay, that's good. That sounds good. And I'm like, but what happened to all the suspicions about him being connected to Gary and whatnot? I mean, sure, Zach isn't taking the full risk. He's taking half a risk by going in half with Bryce. But, I mean, you don't want Gary handling Zach's money, but you're okay with Zach putting some of his money in together with Bryce's. So you see what I mean? Where it feels like in some places of Zatima, there's some character motivation and emotions that just feel removed for no reason at all. So is it, is Fatima okay with Bryce because he's bisexual, and that's the suspicions are gone, or what? Like I said, I know I'm overthinking the shit out of this thing, but it's just something that kind of made me go, okay, what exactly is Tyler trying to do with this thing? It kind of reminds me of Bruh with the Darla transgender character storyline, where I thought an interesting, angle for that story would have been, the question of, is it right, or actually, should a trans person tell the person they're dating that they're trans up front? That's, an interesting question, especially in today's climate. But as of season 3, Darla and Greg have been, in my opinion, they haven't been written very well. They're really coming off as awful characters. Check out my bro reviews to get my feedback on that. But with the Bryce character, I feel like there could have been a different angle with this that wasn't taken. But like I always say, this is just my opinion as somebody who's not part of the bisexual, homosexual community, LGBTQ, or the appropriate abbreviation. I can't really speak on it like, oh, I'm appalled by how this was portrayed. No, obviously, no. Why would I say that? I'm a bit stunned by the way this played out. I'm not really liking Bryce's character, not because he's bisexual, but because he did violate Zach. Just like the clip I played at the beginning of the video, it was just like that reporter who, kissed Will Smith and he got, shoved or punched for that. And yeah, that was pure violation. It's like, if, what was it? I think there was this one clip of Beyonce at a concert, like a guy, like, grabbed her butt or something and she snapped on him, and rightfully so. That's pure violation. So, hopefully Zach and Bryce have an HR department so they can squash this. Oh, okay, here I am making jokes, but no, for real. Going to the end of the episode again, the sit down, the conversation shifts to, the middle of the episode actually, when Zach rightfully called out Fatima for giving him, crap about the whole covering up. Oh, you were covering up for your boys? Is that what y'all do for each other? What do you mean? What about you? Keep that same energy. And I love when Zach says keep that same energy, because when he says that, he's about to drop a bomb of truth. Why didn't you say anything to Angela about your her boyfriend trying to kiss me? But that's different. How is it different, Fatima? And she couldn't think of an answer, like I thought. So people have said, well, Jeremy, the reason Fatima didn't do that is because it's not her place and she doesn't want to out Bryce, and that could lead to dangerous things. Okay, yeah, there have been news reports and all, like not characters, my bad, real people who have been outed for being a certain orientation, and that has led to like some suicides and other dangerous consequences. But I think by Fatima not saying anything, it kind of feels like she's turning a blind eye to it. That's just my opinion. Now, Zach, if he spoke up the moment it happened when Fatima and Angela came into the office, would he be viewed as a bad guy? Because he, quote unquote, outed Bryce, even though he was the one who was violated. You see what I mean? I feel like Zatima, as of late, has really been bringing up topics that are worthy of discussion because of the double standard and hypocrisy as to one specific group of people, whether it's race, gender, orientation, how situations are handled differently with one group than it is from another. So as you can see, and I hope I'm coming across as genuine and as clear as I can, because yes, it does sound like I'm kind of tripping over myself, but I'm honestly trying to understand like what would be the right protocol in this situation. I hope y'all really see I'm coming from a honest place of, yeah, I'm not part of this specific community, but I just want to know when this happens, especially in a work environment, like how should it be handled? So, Angela was giving her suspicions of Bryce being bisexual. I mean, like Fatima, I'm just saying, like she said, don't make me wreck this car now. Because Angela, thankfully it was talked out. But, for her to question Zach's sexuality, but then the more she talked, the more it became clear that, wait, maybe Bryce is. Do you think that aside from seemingly turning an eye to Zach's situation, she's not being honest to her friend. Yes, I get it. Like Zach even said, look, with the Lori, Nathan thing, they need to figure that out for themselves. We got enough problems on our own. They need to deal with that themselves. So yeah, okay, like Lori finding out about Nathan being a cheater. But with Angela finding out about Bryce being bisexual, I think since it hits close to home because Zach was the victim of the violation, in that situation, I don't, and this is just me, I don't think it would have been wrong for Fatima or Zach to like say, yo, he, tried to kiss me or kiss Zach. That's just my opinion. So, because I think Bryce, and look, like I said, I want to be very careful with how I say this. For me, Bryce's privilege of telling Angela himself went out the door the minute he violated Zach. That's how I feel about it. Yes, it is very sensitive subject. Yes, I feel like some of what Zach is saying, it should be what Angela's saying. Like, he should have told me up front. See, there we go. See, me feeling like, Zach says that, well, Bryce should have told me up front. I don't think that's as important as Angela saying that to Bryce. I feel like that. Yeah, they could have done the line swap there. They could have given that line to Angela instead of Zach, because Fatima didn't say what happened, but she did tell Angela, look, something did happen between the two. So, y'all need to talk to your man about it. But the thing is, we've seen how seemingly naive that Angela is, and I think for me personally, especially with Fatima, seeing how Angela quickly believed Belinda's story about what happened at their house, as opposed to Zach not being the one to initiate putting the moves on her. Fatima should have said, look, your man tried to make a move on my man, because again, Angela is very easy to convince of something. So I think Bryce would have just beat her. I mean, how quickly he said, oh, he was just showing me a boxing move, when you literally tried to kiss Zach 10 seconds prior. Well, not even 10 seconds, like 5 seconds prior to Fatima and Angela walking into the office. I think Bryce might lie. And it might, I mean, hell, how do we know it won't get to a point where when Angela and Bryce come over, it'll be like, Angela being like, Fatima, Bryce told me what happened. Zach tried to make a move on him. Bryce refused, and Zach popped him in the face. It wouldn't surprise me if that's what happens. So that's why I feel like, wrong or not for outing him, they should have at least like said, look, boom, yo, your man tried to put his lips on me. I ain't, I ain't, but no. I think they should have nipped that in the bud. I mean, isn't that what Fatima always tells Zach? Handle that. You better nip it in the bud. But in this case, I don't think we should do anything. So let me know your thoughts. Like I said, I know this is a touchy subject, but I really want to open the door to a mature and civil conversation. And if this kind of goes into Tyler Perry's writing style for Zatima to create these conversations for us to have and understand each other a little bit better, I like that. But yeah, well, how do you feel about it? So, do you think Zach should meet with Bryce? Like, how should that conversation go? Should they still have a working relationship? Because for me, I think Bryce really lost me as a character the moment he chose to make a move on Zach, despite the fact that, he already said, I'm not bisexual. And on top of that, Zach already has a woman, or, he's in a relationship. So that's all I got to say on the subject. Let's talk about it more in the comments section below. Like and subscribe. Follow me on social media. Links are in the description below. And I'll catch you in the next one.